Good morning, my marvelous Millers. How's everybody doing today? It is Thursday, March 25th, and this is Lakeview LIftoff Live. Glad to have you here today. Let's move it right into the liftoff announcements, but we can't do anything without bringing in today's launch specialist from down the hall in Pod 7 and Miss Bonnie's class. Please help me welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Dakota Olson. Hey, Dakota, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to have you as a launch specialist. You excited?
Mm-hmm.
All right, man, you're in charge. I'm going to let you take over. We got to bring in, let's bring in Mrs. Frame as well, because she might be able to help us with some of these announcements too. Good morning, Mrs. Frame.
Good morning.
All right. Well, Dakota, let's get the announcements on screen. Tell us what we need to know today at Lakeview.
Fundraiser, turn in as soon as you can if you haven't.
That's right. So if you have anything left, just like I said yesterday, don't stress about it. We just need to get it turned in this week, if at all possible. So please give kind, gentle, friendly reminders to people who have decided to purchase things from our school and get those turned in as soon as you can. Thank you very much for doing that. And for those of you, I had some students tell me yesterday how hard they worked on the fundraiser. It makes a big, big difference. I can tell you already, based on what's been brought in, we have made enough to help our teachers have the money that we normally give them in the summertime to get ready for the next school year for their classrooms and get things for their rooms. We have a certain amount of money we need to do that, and you all have made that happen. So that is so awesome. And I know our teachers are really grateful. That makes a big difference to them. And hopefully you all are going to enjoy some fun prizes too, but know that even aside from that, you've made a big difference for your school. And that's what doing charitable things is all about. All right. What else? Dakota, next one.
Remember to bring masks and water bottles to school every day.
That's right. So just a reminder, bring masks and water bottles. And another thing I've heard some people say when it was warm outside and they went to recess, maybe it's the walking between or other times, but when it gets warmer, we start to get sweatier on our face. And I know this happens to me sometimes too. My mask can start to feel kind of wet, and that's kind of feels nasty on your face when it's that way. So I think it's a great idea, if possible, to have a second backup mask that you bring in case something happens to your first one. Now that the weather's getting warmer, because there will be situations where we maybe are outside, it is warm, and we do have to have a mask on. And so it might be a good idea to plan for having a backup if possible. And just a reminder, that goes back to that fundraiser money. If I have to spend fundraiser money on masks and water bottles, that's less fun stuff I can do for our teachers and for our school. So it really helps me out if you could all be responsible and bring your masks and water bottles every day and reuse those water bottles if you get one from the office, if you absolutely have to. All right. Dakota, what's next?
Week 3, March Minute Madness continues until Saturday.
All right, so bring it. We had some pod domination, especially in 4th and 5th grade yesterday. So I'm looking at some of my pods and seeing if you're gonna fight back. I hope you're on it, because I know there's some big rivalries going out there. Let's see which classes can take the cake this week in March Minute Madness. And all in all, we're getting great practice ahead of our state testing as well, and that's important. So great job, everybody, on working on March Minute Madness. All right. What's next? Dakota, what's next? Do you know?
No.
Guess what? I think we have to do some, maybe this will help you remember.
Oh, the Miller 5 Shoutout.
That's right. It's time for the Miller 5 Shoutout. So who we got today, Dakota?
Today's Miller 5 Shoutout is Carly Schmidt.
Carly Schmidt, yep.
Carly, I'm looking at you. Our cafeteria hosts tell us that Carly is always showing the Miller 5 in the cafeteria. She is kind, respectful, and helpful. Another great example of showing the Miller 5 in Champs procedures in the cafeteria. Way to go, Carly. That's why you are today's Miller 5 Shoutout.
All right. Great job, Dakota. And yes, Carly, congratulations on being today's Miller 5 Shoutout. Excellent. All right. Well, let's see. I think we've got Admit 1 next. So let's bring in Mrs. Mann to the broadcast. Good morning, Mrs. Mann. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you all doing?
Excellent. I know Dakota and I were wondering if you have a holiday for today. Is there happen to be a holiday on March 25th?
Well, every day is a holiday. There's something to celebrate in every single day. Sometimes you just have to look really hard for it.
Is it National Seashell Day?
No, I'm sorry.
Darn, I was hoping I had it matched today. Okay, go ahead.
And you could make it a Lakeview holiday, I guess. But
yeah, okay.
Today's holiday is actually an international holiday, and it's a food holiday again. So today is International Waffle Day.
Yum.
Oh.
I was really going to celebrate and have waffles for breakfast this morning, but I forgot. So
I'm all about that. Lego my ego.
Yeah. So anyway, if you want to enjoy some yummy waffles, maybe later today. So
that sounds delicious.
A great way to celebrate.
Yeah. So what have we got for Admit 1 today?
So today for Admit 1, we're going to talk a little bit about something that we've already talked about before, but it was on one of those days when we were all home and it was snowy. And so I just wanted to go back over some good points because you know what, friends? It's hard to be a friend. You know, sometimes it's really difficult, not just for kids, but also for adults. And so I want you to know that all these lessons that we talk about, they're not just for you guys. They're lifelong lessons that we need, things we need to remember even when we're grown. So we're going to talk a little bit about friendship today. So if we could move to the next slide. Thank you so much. So how does a good friend act? Well, they share. And you know what? Sharing is not just for little kids. It's one of those important lessons you learn when you're very tiny because you're still learning how to do that. But even as a 4th, 5th, 6th grader, 7th through 12th, college, grown-up adult, we still have to practice sharing things. You know, we share ideas. And sometimes that's not easy. You might be doing a lot of group work in your classes, especially with STEM, but you have to learn how to share those ideas. And you also have to learn how to share just things in general. Sometimes we have to share supplies, not so much this year. It's a little different, but sharing is important, okay? Letting someone go first, that's just being a good friend, showing good manners. Saying something nice, at least daily. You know what? When you give someone a compliment, that makes them feel so good, but it also makes you feel good because you're finding something good. And I want to remind you that goodness exists all around us, and it's just waiting to be noticed. But you have to choose to see it. Inviting someone new to play a game, you might make a lifelong friend just by simply inviting somebody to come play Foursquare with you at recess. Who knows? You know, showing respect, we talk a lot about that. That's one of our Miller 5 traits. Respect means to treat others the way you want to be treated, okay? So if you're treating someone in a way that you would not want someone to treat you, then you're not showing respect and you need to check yourself and you need to do it a different way, okay? Being thoughtful. That's a nice way of saying stop being selfish. Don't just think about you. We have to think about other people as well and how that makes them feel. Putting yourself in their shoes, that's showing empathy, okay? Telling them that they're a special person in your life. So we've talked about this too. Showing gratitude and letting people know that you are grateful for them and things they've done for you. Giving people grace, that has been a big thing, especially this year, because we all make mistakes and we don't need people to just kind of, you know, wag their finger at us and tell us, oh, well, you did that wrong. That's not going to help us. We need to back up and we need to say, you know what? Yeah, you made a mistake. And if you learn something from it and change it, then it's going to be okay. All right. Being honest, even when it's hard. You know, I tell my own kids at home, I said, I don't like to be lied to. If you've done something wrong and you tell me and you're honest with me about it, you're going to be in far less trouble than you would be if you lied to me and I had to figure out the truth. Okay. On the same token, when you're being honest with someone, sometimes it's hard to tell them the truth because it might be hurtful to them. So you need to watch your tone of voice and your words, okay? Keeping their private words between the two of you. So if someone has trusted you in confidence with something, do not be a blabbermouth and go around telling everybody else what they've told you. That breaks trust, and that is not okay. Now, I want to say one other thing. If someone has trusted you with something that's really big and really heavy, something that maybe is not something that you feel comfortable keeping, because it's a big deal, and you feel uncomfortable, you don't need to go telling other kids about it. You need to come get a trusted adult and let us help handle that, okay? Because some things that kids share in privacy, maybe you have no idea how to help them with something, come get us. That's what we're here for, to help, okay? You're not being a tattletale, you're just being a good helping friend, okay? So those are some of the ways that a good friend acts, all right? So here are some behaviors that are not very friend-like. Name calling. Hey, you guys, we all were given a name by our parents. That is the name that we need to be calling each other, the name that we go by, okay? Don't make up silly nicknames for each other unless that person is okay with it. You don't decide what someone else's name is, they do, okay? Spreading rumors, those are very hurtful. If you did not hear it with your own ears or see it with your own eyes, then you should not be spreading something, okay? We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. Hurting someone physically, like hitting, biting, kicking, hair pulling, any of those things. Hey, you know what? Little kids do that a lot because they're not sure how to use their words. And sometimes as big kids, we do that too. It's not okay. All right. Remember, I've told you before, the hardest step is to stop. And you've got to take that amygdala that wants to react, and you've got to get in control. Okay. So you can't be lashing out physically. That is not okay. Taking things that aren't yours, stealing is not okay. Destroying other people's property, disrespecting, which all of these things are disrespect, you guys. Isolating people, so that could mean that I'm mad at one of my friends, and I go around and get all of our other friends to be mad at them too, and so now that person has nobody to play with at recess or no one to confide in. That is not okay. If you have a problem between you and one other person, then that is between you and that person. You do not get your group of friends in on your issue. That is not okay. Mean mugging is not okay. I also call it shooting eye darts across the room. You know, when you're like, that's not okay, you guys, all right? Making rude gestures, your tone of voice, that matters, okay? So take that into consideration. And of course, bullying is simply not tolerated, because that means that you have chosen to be mean to someone on purpose multiple times. That is not okay. That's not how we do things here at Lakeview. We're going to be a kind friend. Are we going to make mistakes? Yep. Can we learn from them and do better next time? Yes, if you choose to do so. Okay, so friends, here's what I need you to do. I need you to understand that we're all in this together. You may not like everybody that you meet, and everybody you meet may not like you, and that's okay. But we're going to treat people with kindness and respect, because that's what we do here. So do your part and be a good friend.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Mann. You know, there's one other thing you reminded me of, and I actually heard some teachers talking about this morning too. One way to show kindness and be friendly, and it's not exactly being friendly, but it can, or it's not exactly friendship, but it could lead to friendships, is just how you greet people. I notice a lot of people in the morning, especially, I know we're tired, but like I will say good morning to people. Teachers are saying good morning. How are you today? Make sure you respond to people who say things to you. I know sometimes we come in and we're tired and we might just walk by somebody who says good morning to us, but one great way to be relational is just to say, hi, good morning, and smile back at someone who acknowledges you. It can actually be disrespectful when you don't. Isn't that right, Mrs. Mann? If someone says something to you and you just walk right by?
That is true. And it's hard because we're wearing masks, so you can't just simply smile because nobody can see it. But the other thing is too, on the other side of that, with our masks, sometimes people may not hear what you say and they may be thinking about something else. So it's not always disrespect when someone doesn't hear you. So it kind of goes both ways. But yes, if someone speaks to you, the kind thing to do is to respond. And it doesn't have to be long. And, you know, just say good morning or hi. It doesn't have to be a big conversation. So yes.
Very important reminders. Yeah, I just want everyone to be as relational as possible. It's a big, big thing with our Miller 5.
Yep.
So, all right, well, let's bring Mrs. Frame and Dakota back in. We're about out of time, and I know Dakota's got a good joke for us, don't you, Dakota? All right, so let me get that back on screen, and then we'll let you launch our day. So here we go. Joke of the day. Dakota, make us laugh. What you got?
Where did Captain Hook buy his hook?
Oh, Captain Hook with the hook on his arm. Where did he get it?
At the secondhand store.
That one's funny.
Hey, that's why I got the shell glasses on. There we go. Captain Hook, little bit of a segue there. All right.
It sounds like you just realized that's why you have the glasses.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, perfect. Okay. All right. Well, Mrs. Mann, thank you again for a great Admit 1. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody. You too.
All right, Dakota, we'll have everybody stand up, ready and respectful for pledges. And Dakota, you can lead us in our flag salutes. Go ahead, Dakota.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And
I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. It symbols peace, unite all people. Moment of silence. Please be respectful during this time. You may reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in any other silent activity at this time.
all right, Dakota, you did a wonderful job. You ready to launch our day? All right. Thank you for representing 4th grade Pod 7 Miss Bonnie's class so well. We're proud of you. Thanks for being a great launch specialist. Take it away, buddy.
We are
Lakeview.
We are not
Average
We will strive,
for the Miller 5.
5.
and whatever it takes, we will.
Grow.
3, 2, 1.
Liftoff.
All right. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Oh, now I can't see you. See you later.